Hey guys, this is Davey. I assume most of you probably have a clue of what's going on with the tournament, despite some confusions and mysteries or mishaps, if that explains it any better. So I'm gonna briefly explain what's happening, especially after I heard the star dropped out from a video she put out explaining why she did so. You guys might have heard of the idiom, a good start is half done, or a good start is half the battle. I always tried my best to comply with this idiom whenever I'm creating a tournament, because I believe that if I give a good and healthy start to a tournament, it will have more chances of surviving till the end, or that it won't fall apart due to some mishaps, because mishaps do happen whenever there is communication, and these tournaments are all about communication. I did one tournament in 2016 which I didn't help creating, I just commentated as a co-host on Chrono Spectrum's streams. But I helped in creating the 2017 tournament when manager aka Sturban jumped in with a 4v4 tournament and Chrono and I decided to help him. And then I created the 2018 tournaments, the Warmers Legend Championship, along with Sturban, and this time Chrono wasn't able to help us. But Star Wars Crazy came in, totally unexperienced, but she managed to not only stream, but moderate and commentate the entire WLC alone, except for the final matches which was taken over by the Future 5. So in that WLC, we started off with just Sturban and me, but by the end of the tournament we had a whole crew of moderators and commentators standing by our side. And in the last year, the WWC 2019, we not only had Chrono, but Star, Sturban, Matt, Vivek, Ferry, and Professional. I'm really hoping I didn't miss any names here. So basically, I have no unsuccessful tournaments in my history on Warmrise, except for the Clash of Clans in September 2015, but it was hosted by moderators, and they only asked me to help moderate the matches, but they never got enough applications, so that wasn't my fault. I didn't even get a chance to moderate any match. But anyways, I never created a tournament which went as a fail, so anything I say in this video here about the tournaments must hold at least some credibility, right? So I always believe that if I give a good start to the tournament, it'll have more chances to be successful. That's why I put a lot of time and effort in making the trailers, which takes around a month to create. But if you watch my editing skills in other videos, you'd know I'm not good with them, so it takes a lot of time. But I try to make them enthusiastic and motivational to create hype, and asking people to share it on their timeline along with the thread is another step of giving the tournament a good start. But in the case of this tournament, it came out of nowhere, and I'll blame Max for most of this problem in this tournament. He knew that this tournament was happening. He created the event page, but he never checked who was creating the tournament and who was helping them. He just made the event page right away. And the person he was communicating with regarding the tournament was a person he banned for account scamming a short while ago. But since he was using another account, he couldn't tell until I asked him to check. So he gave a warning to that person and left off. And due to that person being in the organizing panel of the tournament, it created a bad impact that some people withdrew their support from the tournament, including Chrono, who would have contributed a lot otherwise, and many people who would have came in for help would probably refrain from doing it now. I believe there was another one or two more people in the organizing panel when the tournament started, but I don't know whether they left or got kicked, I don't know. But the situation went down to a single person only who actually made the tournament. There were no moderators, no streamers, no commentators or anything. People who had experience in previous tournaments didn't show up, except for Sturban and Star, but it's just Sturban now since Star dropped out. These tournaments are a lot more complicated than they seem superficially. There's a lot of input, and a single person cannot do that. Or even if he or she can, no one is really so dedicated in this game to give their entire focus and dedication to organize the matches, set proper times, do all the communication, make sure to get the players online by informing them from time to time, and then moderating the matches while streaming and commentating them. I know a couple of people who can do all of these things, but I know none of them will. So you need to have people that can divide all of these tasks so that it doesn't burden anyone so much that they end up dropping, which I think is why Star pulled out. So there are three important things that needs to be taken care of in the tournament to make them successful. And that is, the first one, the A, is managing time zones and setting times for the matches and getting information about the server for rounds from both teams. This depends on communication, and the person who deals with this must have a good level of communication to make both teams agree on a time zone and make sure they know their times well, and then getting the server information from both teams. You don't always get to do this with people who are easy to communicate with. Sometimes you meet people who are using Google Translate, and it becomes really hard and tricky then. Chrono and Sterben has been taking care of this in the tournaments I did with them. The second thing is, the most important thing is, it's about informing players on time and getting them ready for their match. So Sterben has been doing a really good job in this in all the tournaments I've done with them. Even if he's not able to come in the match or he's on mobile, he'll still inform the players a significant time before their match so they get online on time. He would also inform the moderators and streamers to also keep them updated, which is something I'm missing from this tournament because I barely ever get informed about anything that's happening in this tournament. And a third most important thing is streaming and moderating. We have very limited number of streamers and even fewer who have experience in streaming tournament matches. Star and Chrono, who streamed most of the tournament matches, have withdrew their support from this tournament already. Professional and Matt haven't offered their help, so that leaves out no streamer who have an experience in streaming tournament matches. Regarding the moderators, I don't think this tournament has enough moderators to moderate all the matches. So it's just, I don't know, it's just being burdened on maybe Sterben or the person who created it. I only did a few matches. But if I know more about the timings and updates, I would probably do more, but that's also something I'm being left out right now. Anyways, there are many more things to take care of in the tournament. For example, making the trailer, or making sure no one is breaking the rules in the tournament, or managing the event page, etc., or keeping that updated. But a tournament can still survive without all of these things, but not without those three important things that I have mentioned earlier. So in a nutshell, I don't think this tournament started well, because nobody knew it was coming, and because of the people who were initially organizing it, who created a really bad impact on the tournament. That most people withdrew the sports, and other people would rather refrain from supporting it now. And the situation right now is that there's not enough people who will take care of all the things in the tournament that are really essential. Like at this point, I don't think that the three important things that I mentioned there are being fulfilled right now. And like I said, a tournament cannot survive without those things. And that's a person who has an experience in doing 4 to 5 tournaments in this game is talking. Anyways, I saw some posts on the homepage, and before this video I could only scroll down a little bit, so I couldn't get hold of all the posts, but I've read them. And I took some comments from the video of Star, of mostly people saying that this tournament shouldn't have happened, or that the tournament we usually do would rather have been better than this one if it didn't even happen at all. So I thought I'd leave my views on what I think about this tournament, and what anyone should know before deciding to make a tournament. And just so you guys know, I'm still helping in this tournament, even though I'm kind of not being directly involved in it, because I'm still focusing more on our tournament and I'm still working on the trailer. But the thing is, I didn't want to discourage anyone who wants to create a tournament, because it's not that this thing is associated with us, even though it kind of is, but I don't want it to be that we are the one who creates the tournament, because we're not anyone with a special title that we create tournament or anything. We're just regular players who do that. So but the thing is, I just wanted I didn't want to discourage anyone who wants to create a tournament. But the thing is, if you want to create a tournament, you should know that there are a lot of things there, and that you cannot do it alone unless you are too dedicated in this game, which I don't think anyone is. So the thing is that you should know about all these things, and you should have a proper team to do so. And at this point, it's really hard to make this team. Like in my case, it took me a couple tournaments to make the team I have right now, or the team I'm part of, not that I have, the team I'm part of. So what I would rather prefer, that if anyone wants to create a tournament, he should rather, it's not like we are a locked group. Star, or there's a lot of people who came in, who helped us, who became part of the crew. So before they were not. So is that we do accept people who wants to help and who have the ability to help. Even if you don't have the ability to help, if you have the motivation or dedication to be helpful, I'm pretty sure you're gonna learn with time. But is that I think if you want to make a tournament, it's rather that you join the people who already know about the tournament, who was already creating. So in this case, this tournament, people who wanted to create this tournament should have rather reached out to us, because I'm pretty sure everyone here knows that we do the tournaments and everything. So they rather should have reached out to us, which they did so, but after creating the tournament. But they should have rather reached out to us before creating the tournament, so that they'd know that we were also planning on making a tournament, and that they could just, instead of creating their own tournament, should have rather helped us in creating our tournament. So that's one of the initial mishaps that I think happened in this tournament. But just for the future, heads up for anyone who wants to get the tournament, this is rather a better way for you to do it. But anyways, I think I've said enough in this video. I don't know if you haven't even reached out to the end, but yeah, I'm gonna go off now. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in a bit.